So you started out as the running backs coach at SC, and then did you also take on a second coaching obligation in addition to running backs coach?
Yes, I became the special teams coordinator.
Okay, here we go. Explain to them what the special teams are and what the special teams coordinator does.
Okay. If you watch a football game, you'll see where they kick off. The guy runs and kicks the ball to the other team receives it, and they run. Or you'll see what's called a punt, where if a team doesn't, you got four tries to get 10 yards, which is the first down. So if you don't make the 10 yards in, excuse me, if you don't make the 10 yards in 3 plays, on the 4th play, you can kick it down the field to the other team. So in all those kick sequences, that's special teams. So you have kickoff and kickoff return. It's a different phase of the game. It's not like offense and defense. If you punt, you have punt, and you have punt return. Those are the facets of special teams. Then when you see them line up and kick field goals or extra points, you have field goal and field goal block. So you're trying to kick it, they're trying to block it. Those are aspects, and they all involve a kick. So it's different than offense and defense. The special teams coordinator coordinates all of those functions, the coaches and that.
Had you actually played some special teams at any time?
Yes.
Where was that?
Everywhere when I was in the NFL.
Okay.
I was special team. That's what I was a captain for, the special teams captain.
Captain of special teams.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So when did you get the additional responsibility of becoming the special teams coordinator for USC? Best you remember.
I think it was after 2005. Our special teams coordinator at the time was Ed Ogeron. He left and went to Mississippi, and I took over.
Ed Ogeron, okay. All right, we're going to get to that in just a moment. So you take on this additional role, and did you remain the running backs coach all the way until 20 days after the COI report came out on June 10 of 2010?
Yes.
And did you continue to serve as the special teams coordinator, or did that role change after some time? You tell me.
That role, excuse me, that role changed after Coach Carroll left in after the 2009 season. Coach Carroll left, and Lane Kiffin came back. Was our coach. Now he had a guy that coached him when he played at Fresno, John Baxter. And he and Lane go way back. So Lane brought John, and he took over special teams.
Okay, so then you became the running backs coach under Lane Kiffin.
Yes.
In 2010.
Yes.
Up until 20 days after the COI report came out. Right?
Yes.
Okay, so we're not going to launch all the way to that. I'm going to back us up. So, remember the other day, the council put up an exhibit about 599 calls to Reggie Bush from your number over the course of a year and a half, whatever it was. Remember that?
Yes.
Okay. I want to put that back up again, just to remind everybody, it's exhibit 393. Now, just so we're clear, before we blow anything up, or I should say enlarge anything, when your records were turned over, it was actually hundreds of pages of your phone records, both cell phone and office phone and your home phone, right?
Yes.
Okay. And those were all turned over back in 2006, 2007 as part of the investigation, correct?
Yes.
All right. Did you give them everything?
Yes.
From that, they pulled certain calls and created this exhibit 393, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so for example, in yellow here, they've highlighted three Mike Ornstein calls, and then it's all Reggie Bush stuff, right?
Correct.
And then at another point, they highlight 3 Lloyd Lake calls in a 17-minute period on the evening of October 29. We don't have to go to it, but just to refresh everybody, they highlight that too.
Correct.
And then the one on January 8 at 1:30 in the morning, right?
Yes.
Other than that, these are all Reggie Bush, right?
Correct.
Okay. After that happened the other day, where they were saying, look, there's 599 calls. That means he was making phone calls to Reggie Bush all the time. And remember when I got up and I said, but let's look at the last line here, and look at how many of them are 1 minute? Remember that?
Yes.
Did you go back and count the number of this 599 over this year and a half that were these little 1 minute things?
Yes, I did.
How many of the 599 were 1 minute things?
I counted, excuse me, I counted 494, but, you know, if I was off 1 or 2, I could have been, but I counted 494.
Okay. So in terms of real phone conversation, not just hang up or go to voicemail or something like that, it was far, far fewer than 599, right?
Objection calls for speculation as to what the 1 minute calls.
Well,
if you can lay a
let me
foundation.
rephrase.
Thank you.
The number of calls that were not these 1 minute things was far, far fewer than 599, correct?
The number of calls, the number of calls are longer than 1 minute?
The number of calls that are these 1 minute things.
Yes.
I'm sorry, let me rephrase. The number of calls that were not the 1 minute things
Yes.
was far fewer than 599, right?
105.
And that was over the course of a long period of time, right?
15 months.
15 months. So did you then figure out how many that would be a week?
Yes.
What was it?
It was over, it was, excuse me, it was 1.5 calls that were over a minute per week.
So, now I'm not a math guy. I didn't check the math. Whatever it was, even if the math is off a bit, you would call Reggie Bush, right?
Absolutely.
If you were like in the film room and you were going over plays and you're noticing something about what Reggie did and it's June, and you're just in there studying what he did, and you want to tell him, you know, on the particular sweep, you're going too wide, you got to cut sooner because the corner is going to pinch off this way, and then the will linebacker is going to come over here, and all of this terminology you guys use. You pick up the phone and call him about that. You would do that, right?
Yes, can I elaborate on that?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, like counsel just told you a little while ago, we talked about how intricate and how complex the game is and how it changes, you have to be cerebral. For all of his abilities, Reggie Bush wasn't a real cerebral, you know, he wasn't a student of the game. He had enough ability, he's one of those rare people that had enough ability, he could get out there, run around you, shake you know, so he wasn't a real note taker and stuff. So I would, when we're in the film room, we be at practice. We come off the practice field. The coach is running the cafeteria. We grab our dinner. We run upstairs and watch the practice that we just had. So, you know, the players, the players eat and then they go home, go to study hall, whatever. But as I'm sitting up as I'm sitting up in the film room watching film, I would text or calling with coaching points, and that's a practice of mine. I just coached at Pasadena High School last year, and in my phone I got text messages to players the offensive line guys in the group text my running back. You know, I text them on the phone, so they'll always have it. If they're on the plane traveling, they got their notes on the phone. They don't have to open a playbook and all that. They got notes in their phone. So that was the habit of mine. So yes.
Okay. So, and then sometimes when you're just checking in on Bush to make sure he's doing his classwork or that everything's okay, or do you need anything? Were you doing that?
Absolutely.
Did you understand that that's what the NCAA regulations wanted you to do?
Yes. Excuse me, yes.
And was that a good thing to maintain that good relationship with your players?
Definitely.
Okay, so when you gave your first interview and they asked you how much contact did you have with Reggie,
Mm-hmm.
Did you tell them right up front that you were close with Reggie right off the bat when they asked these questions in the interview?
Yes, first question.
And then did they ask you specifically how often would you phone call him, or did they just say how much would you stay in contact with him?
Well, if the conversation when they asked me, they said, how much contact did you have with Reggie outside of practice and games? Now, practice and games, I'm not calling him. So when you're saying outside of practice and games, I'm seeing physical contact. We're with each other. So, and then the conversation went on about how many times you come to office, and I'm telling them we got spring ball 3 times, practice 3 days a week. They're coming up, come up, and the whole conversation was referring to physical contact. In the second interview, I think the investigator asked me about 330 phone calls. And that's what you pulled up the other day. And in the interview, I said, well, wait a minute. I said, are you talking about physical contact or phone contact? And that's something,
We showed that to the ladies.
Right,
and the other
right.
day. Okay.
So I was under the impression we were talking about physical contact.
Okay. All right, so then let's back up a second. You talked about how you get close to the family in the recruiting process so that mom, number one, trusts you, and then dad, if there's a dad, and then brothers, sisters, cousins, uncles, grandma, the whole deal, right?
Yes.
Okay. Had you recruited Reggie Bush?
No, I had. Excuse me. No, I hadn't.
He was already there when you got there, right?
Yes.
So did you have to go through that process of developing that family relationship with him?
No.
Okay. Had you ever even been to San Diego to their home?
No.
You also knew that Reggie Bush was from San Diego and not from 3,000 miles away.
Yes.
By the way, the house was in San Diego, where they lived, not just down from USC. Reggie was from San Diego, right?
Yes.
Lloyd Lake was from San Diego, right?
Yes.
Michael Michaels was from San Diego, right?
Yes.
By the way, one question that I didn't ask you.
Yes.
In all of your coaching career, before 20 days after the COI report came out, did you ever have an agent?
No.
You would get those jobs through relationships.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get back onto the timeline here. It's the winter of 2005.
Yes.
USC has gone undefeated. Reggie Bush has gotten the Heisman Trophy. They're on top of the world. And they're heading for the national championship game, right?
Yes.
And back-to-back national championships is a big deal, right?
Yes.
So,
That would have been 3.
back-to-back-to-back national championships.
Never been done before.
Not even by Oklahoma in the 50s?
Never been done before.
Oh, okay.
We're going for number 3.
Okay. All right. team had gone undefeated.
Yes.
And that year, then, as we get just over the top of the year and we get to the beginning of January of 2006, where was the game?
Yeah, the Rose Bowl.
Pasadena.
Yes, Pasadena.
Who were you playing?
Texas.
Okay, you say that with a little bit of an edge because what happened?
We lost to Texas.
And that was one of the classic games where Texas quarterback Vince Young took it in for the winning score at the end of the game, right?
Yes, he did.
Okay. All right, I asked you how the championships made you feel. How did that make you feel?
Still hurts. Think about it.
Okay. In any event, that's the end of Reggie's football season and post-season bowl experience of his junior year, correct?
Yes.
All right, now, are players allowed to have agents and receive benefits beyond scholarship? Are they allowed to have any of that under the NCAA rules?
No.
And so, but if a player decides to come out of college early, I mean, they could play their 4 years and graduate and come out and go into the draft, or they could come out early if they're a top player, right?
Correct.
So did Reggie Bush decide to come out early? And that puts us in January of 2006, correct?
Yes. Sabotage.
Actually, I thought the better word would be fumble.
I don't know what that, I don't know. Oh, you got it, thank you. That hasn't happened before, by the way.
Sorry about that.
Sorry.
That Texas game really affected me. Okay, so Reggie's decided to come out,
Yes.
but he hasn't come out quite yet. Correct?
No, not yet. He hasn't declared yet.
But what that'll mean is he'll basically leave school at USC and go into the NFL if he comes out, right?
Yes.
So, have you set up for you, not only did you set it up, but was there a meeting set up with potential agents for the morning or the day of January 9, 2006, for Reggie, Pete Carroll, J.C. Pearson, and you to help Reggie in interviewing potential agents?
Yes.
So, we've got a new name sitting in here now, J.C. Pearson. Just so we don't get a question later on, who is that? Why don't you explain who it was?
J.C. Pearson happened to be a close family friend of Reggie. And actually, I was unbeknownst to me. I didn't know that. As chance would have it, I played with J.C. in Kansas City. He was a teammate of mine in Kansas City with the Chiefs. And I didn't know he even knew Reggie until really that meeting was set up.
Okay. Now, he couldn't sign with an agent until he came out, correct?
Correct.
So at that point, you're going to be interviewing the agents on January 9, 2006. And did you have that interview session?
Yes.
And how many agents were there?
I think maybe 4. Maybe it wasn't more than 5.
Okay. Were there other people that y'all were getting calls from about wanting to be included in the interview as a potential agent?
Yes. Yes. I mean, it wasn't all. It wasn't. Yes.
Okay. Well, it wasn't what? You just tell me. You
I
can
mean, it wasn't a whole, a whole slew of people. I played in the NFL. I coached in the NFL. I knew, I had a lot of people that I knew, and most of the people that called were people that I knew that were asking could they get in there, but there was some that I didn't know.
Okay. All right. By the way, somewhere along in here, did you also try to start a record label?
Yes.
Okay, you're kind of going.
No, I did.
Okay.
I did.
Did it ever become a big company?
Never became big. But what it was, we had a group of kids back home, like nephews and friends, and they used to rap and do all their little stuff. And a good friend of mine was a promoter. He owned a club in Philly, and he's managing artists and stuff. So we just try to give them something positive to do, something, they liked that, it was their passion. So we just try to smack something together to, help them do what they want to do.
Okay, so are you now a record mogul?
Absolutely not.
Okay. All right, so Pete Carroll is still at SC, or is he on January 9th? Is he still the head coach at SC? Or by that time, he decided to go to the pros?
Yes.
I'll give you two possibilities for which one is it. By that time, he decided to go to.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, he's still at SC.
Okay, all right. So sometime after those interviews on January 9th, did Pete Carroll, the head coach at SC, announce that he was going to go into the NFL?
I'm sorry to interrupt, but you're talking about January 9, 2006?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, thank you, appreciate that. Got my timeline going here. I already launched up to January of 2010 in my mind. That's when Pete Carroll left.
Not for Seattle, yes.
Okay. So going back to the interview, Pete Carroll was doing the interviews.
Yes.
January 9, 2006, with you and Jason Pearson and Rich.
Yes. Yes.
Okay? So, after the interviews, did Reggie Bush select an agent?
At some point, yes.
And that meant that he came out and had left USC, right?
Yes.
Now, the NFL draft was about when? That year, 2006.
Excuse me, best late April. Late April.
Usually in that time?
Usually late April.
And was Reggie Bush drafted?
Yes.
What was he drafted?
Second player overall.
So, first round, the number 2 player in the draft, correct?
Yes.
And he went to the New Orleans Saints?
Yes.
All right, so then was there a story published about something between Reggie Bush and Lloyd Lake?
Yes.
Did you know who Lloyd Lake was?
No.
Are you saying you never met Lloyd Lake under any circumstance?
To the best of my knowledge, I've never met Lloyd Lake.
If you had met him somewhere at some post-football games, something like that, are you saying there's no way that you were introduced to him, or just that you don't remember?
No, I've always maintained that I could have met Lloyd Lake. I gave a couple examples of how that could happen.
Explain. Go ahead.
Well, can I go through the whole? I gotta explain the whole game day, hotel, all that.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
All right. Now, let me start. I'm the national recruiter, all right? And I recruit kids from, we already went through this, I recruit kids from far away, and they come from far. So the kid comes to our school, he's at our school, and like I said, I'm pretty much the contact person for the parents. The parents, when they come to visit us, all the downtown Marriott, all right, which is where we stay. The team goes and stays at a hotel night before the game. We conduct all of our meetings to get ready for the next game. That way they're sequestered, they're not on campus running around, we're all right there in the hotel. The downtown Marriott becomes the hub for the event that is USC football. Alumni coming from Arizona, from the Bay, they come down and they stay at the hotel. Parents, and I'm not talking about local parents usually come and they leave. I'm the national recruiter, so I got all the parents that come, Brian Cushing's parents, Kyle Moore's parents from Georgia, Bryce Butler's parents from Georgia, Frankie Telfer's parents from Florida, so on and so forth. They all come at the Marriott. We stay there and we get discounted rates on the rooms, right? So when people's parents come in, they come in and they stay at the Marriott Hotel. And it's cool, it's really festive. And when a team plays, the fans try to travel together anyway. If we're playing in Cal, they'll get on social media and say, maybe somebody worked out a deal with the Omni at such and such, and that's going to be where we're going to be. The fans are going to congregate, or the team is staying here, and then they'll post that. So the Marriott is the hub for all of that. So we practice on Friday, right? We get done practice on Friday. We go up in Heritage Hall. We go up to the athletic center, and we have a big pep rally. All the fans are in the pep rally. The parents, come to the pep rally, and it's packed. So we leave the pep rally, and we leave the pep rally, go to the hotel. The coaches generally drive to the hotel. I drive my truck to the hotel. Now during that time, when we have recruits come in, recruits stay at the hotel also. We put the parents and the recruits up. Now on a recruiting weekend, you can have anywhere from 3 to 15 kids on an official visit. So that on an official visit. So they come see you. We put the players and their parents at the hotel. Now we're in meetings and practice and all that stuff during the day. The coaches are. So we have a guy in our football department. Excuse me. At that time, it was Jared Blank, and he takes care of the logistics. Because while we're practicing and meeting with the team, parents are coming in at different times to the airport. So we have student workers in the office that are running, picking up parents and taking them down. Usually they bring them right to practice if we're still practicing, so they can see the pep rally and all of that. Or at the very least, they pick them up, they take them to the hotel. All right, so we go down there, we got a series of meetings. We have a special teams meeting, we have offensive and defensive meeting. We come together for a quick meeting with coach. They eat, players, then it's curfew. So while we're doing all that, the parents are coming in from Michigan, from Nick Perry's parents, everybody comes in. Now all players get 4 tickets. They're allotted 4 tickets. But they'll trade off if somebody doesn't have anybody coming in, especially the away guys, the guys from far away. They're from Florida, unless they don't use all their tickets all the time, so somebody will get more tickets. Now when the parents come in, it's usually they bring people with them. It could be mom and dad and son and daughter. It could be mom and dad and son and best friend, quarterback on his high school team. It could be dad, Uncle Bobby, quarterback on team and best friend. It varies. It's a mini vacation. We're in the snow, it's cold, it's football season, everybody wants to come to LA. And so it's a mini vacation for them. So people, it varies who they have with them, but the parents are usually, they're consistent, the parent, and they brought in different people, could be a coworker, anything. So they all come and they go to the hotel. We do what we do. When we're done, the players go to their rooms. They got curfew, and some coaches don't stay the night at the hotel. I stayed at the hotel because I got parents that have come in town. I've been with them in the recruiting meetings, and I've made promises. They want to talk. How's he doing? How's he doing in football? How's he doing in school and all that. They, you know, so we just kind of generalize. So I go downstairs and here's Mr. Cushing. Hey, what's up, Pop? You know, give him a dap and a hug, and he's like, hey, Coach, hey, how you doing? This is Brian's Uncle Bobby. Uncle Bobby, hey, how you doing, man? You know, meet everybody that they're with. Could be Brian's brother's name Mike. Mike could have his best friend. Hey, man, how's it going? All right, good, yeah. So, and then the Turners over here, and I see the Turners out of the corner of my eye. So everything's good? Yeah, Pop, you know, everything. We talk to them, then I go over there to the Turners. The Turners are, Coach, hey, how's it going? Oh, man, you know, we you know, so I'm exchanging pleasantries with everybody. Part of that whole thing, when they come in as recruits, they want to feel the atmosphere. You know what I mean? It's a couple things too. The kids want to feel what it's like to play there. What are the players doing? You know, they want to feel the atmosphere. The parents want to feel the atmosphere too. Is it a family atmosphere? Do coaches walk right by you and ignore you after you recruited them and told them you take care of their son? Do you not tell them how they're doing? Do you give them a quick, hey, how you, and that's not good. You know, so we have to make sure that we continue, and everybody wants to have a great time. You want him to go back to his schools. Oh, it was a great time at US, because he might be another great player that's a year behind him. Oh man, we had a great time. It has to be, everything has to be pleasant. It has to be, you know, and definitely the parents, because now, it definitely has to be good for the parents. You got to be warm. It has to be, you know, and when that's your program, it's your program, and you know, it's not something you have to fake. But I'll use my parents. If I got Kyle Moore, who's a junior, so he's been there 3 years. His mom was Dina Moore, and when I had Joe McKnight. Do this every time. When I had Joe McKnight's mom come in, Joe passed last year or the year before. So when Joe McKnight's mom comes in, I can refer her to Dina. Because she's wondering, you know, the coaches, what's really like, and she can ask Dina how's Kyle's experience been there. You know, she'll ask her for her take on things. Oh yeah, you know, the coaches are great. Everything they said they'll do, they do, and you know, it's great. It's fine. We love it. We couldn't make a better decision, so it's good. And it's better to come from mom to mom than I'm telling you. You know what I mean? So all right. So
let me. I know you get wrapped up.
Yeah, stop me. I'll talk too much.
I get it.
Right.
I get it. I can understand this. If it was me talking about my practice of law and trying cases, I'd be going on forever.
All right,
But let me just say that the issue was sort of like, how many people do you meet that you never even remember having been introduced to, and why? Go ahead.
Right, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So now we get on the bus and we go to the stadium. I leave my truck at the hotel. All right, I drove there after pepper lunch, go to the stadium. Now at the stadium, my recruits are out of state recruits, and that's my deal with out of state recruits. Meanwhile, the other coaches have the local recruits, in-town recruits. You got to build relationships with the coaches, because your coaches can be your best ally. If they're allied with USC, Alabama calls for a kid to coach. Oh, well, coach, he's taking a test, and the kid's right there. But you know, you want them to be your friends, and they can help you in recruiting. You want the players to have a good experience and love coming to USC. It's got to be all family and everything. USC and UCLA are in the same town. We want them to come to our games. NCAA allows us to give them tickets to come to our games. So you got Long Beach Poly has probably more players in the NFL than anybody in the country. So you got Long Beach Poly players and coaches and their contingent. You got Sarah and their contingent. You got Modern Day and their contingent. We try to, UCLA does the same thing. UCLA and us both try to get them to come to our games. They come to the games, all right? We play the game is over. Now, we get done playing the game. The recruits that are local can come in our locker room. We used to let them come in our locker room, so it could be any.
We're talking Saturday now, right?
This is Saturday of game day. This is a game day. Recruits are allowed in our locker room. All right, so the local recruits and the recruits that have come from far away, not the parents. When the out-of-state parents, not them pretty much. I mean, the dad can come in if he wants to, but usually it's more the local guys. I've been on the field on my feet for 4.5 hours. My back hurts, my feet hurt, remember I told you my schedule. I leave the house by 6. I haven't seen my kids. They sleep when I leave, sleep when I come home. I'm trying to get out of here, go see the kids up there at the game too. But you have to exchange pleasantries with those kids that are in your locker room. So the coaches, the kids that are local, you have to meet them, you have to talk to them, you have to, you know, if they're over there rapping, you can chime in with them, you know what I mean? So we gotta give them some kind of attention and stuff. Talk about their game last night, Saturday they played last night. Now, after we get through the locker room, with meeting all those kids, and the coaches will bring their buddies. Hey, coach, this is my man Ray, and I'm like, hey man. So now, remember I told you the players get 4 tickets apiece. All right, so it's 80 players with 4 tickets apiece. So they have these are kids that are on our team already, and majority of them are local. So they have their friends and family. Coach, this is my man. This is a guy who played quarterback for us last year. And we're meeting everybody. We know parents. But the dad had his brother last week. The dad has his neighbor this week. The younger brother has his best friend. So we're meeting everybody. Coach, this is Ray. Hey, Ray, how you doing? And I'm trying to get to my 2-year-old. But we have to exchange pleasantries. Everybody, they got a football that they want you to sign. Kenny Norton Jr. Dad was the heavyweight champ of the world. He wants an autograph from Kenny. This is Southern California. It was the Raiders. We're Chiefs and Raiders are rivals. And somebody wanted me to sign something. So we're going through all these people, and people are, you can imagine. I'm just trying to get to my kid. All right, so I don't know who I met. I mean, I really don't. You know, you got your parents, you got your constants, and the extra ones change. I always go back to the hotel because I left my truck there.
Let me stop you. So you meet all kinds of people on these game days. Do you remember all of their names?
No, it's impossible. It's impossible.
Okay, and do people ask to have their picture taken with you all the time in those days?
All the time. I've had a guy, he's a grown man, and he asked me to sign a picture that I took with him. He was a kid after a Raider game. I was like 26, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's impossible. I mean, it's impossible.
Okay, so it has been almost 8 years since your career as a coach at USC ended on June 30 of 2010, right?
Yes.
During this trial, did a lawyer who's trying a case downstairs, as he came up the escalator, see you and come over to you and say, Coach McNair, will you take the picture with me?
Yes.
Do you know who he is?
No.
Given what's happened in this case, did you say, not until this case is over?
Exactly. I mean, I kind of quipped about it, like nah, pictures, I can't take a picture, man, because you might come back in 2 years and say, oh yeah, I was gambling on cases at the courthouse and I was hanging with Coach McNair, and he knew that I was rigging cases.
Well, I'll just reassure you, he is a trial lawyer.
Yeah, you know that.
Okay. All right. So you know the photograph that's been bandied about here and was used by the COI back then in that case. You know that photograph?
Yes, I do.
Do you have any memory at all of that particular photograph being taken?
None whatsoever.
Do you remember back then that USC was trying to get the original photograph to have it examined and never taken?
Objection lacks foundation.
Only if you know, sir.
Yes.
Did they ever get it?
No.
Oh,
I'll go to it.
to your mind.
To my knowledge, no.
Now, you know in the photograph, everybody has seen it. You're at the right end of the part of the photograph that we're seeing, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And you know there's that hand that looks like a woman's hand on your right shoulder?
Yes.
Do you know who that was?
No, I don't recall. I don't recall taking the picture.
Do you know if there were even more people next to that person? Do you know?
Your Honor, object, the witness has testified he has no recollection of the photographs, I think.
Well,
Sort of a
okay,
question.
that's true, that's true. Okay, so when you first learned about this in the media, this was April of 2006, correct?
Yes.
When you first learned about it, what was your reaction?
I was shocked.
What was the reaction over at Heritage Hall among the coaches?
We were shocked.
Did y'all get contacted by NCAA enforcement staff? Or at least the USC offices?
Yes, at some point, yes.
And did they request you and a bunch of other people from SC to give an interview?
Yes.
Well, given what's happened here, ladies and gentlemen have already seen that that interview was in September of 2006.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was September 19, right in there, 2006.
Yes.
Did you get yourself a lawyer?
No,
Given what's happened here, why didn't you get yourself a lawyer?
I didn't need to. I mean, I didn't know anything. I mean, I didn't need to.
Did you answer all the questions?
Yes.
Can we briefly put up Exhibit 35.7? That first interview, September 19, 2006, if we can enlarge this area here, just to kind of bring up, yeah, you can go down a little further, but that's fine. And you see there, this is page 7 of the interview,
Yes.
when you were asked, and can you describe to me the relationship with Reggie?
Yes.
And you told them right up front, we're pretty close. I'm pretty close with all my players. I mean a normal coach-player relationship, but I'm pretty personable with my guys.
Yes.
You see that?
Yes.
Did you at any time try to hide the fact that you had a close relationship with Reggie Bush?
No.
And then there's that next question about how much contact,
Yes.
and it says next to none.
Yes.
That's where you were thinking they meant personal contact?
Yes.
You knew you had to turn your phone records over to them, didn't you?
Absolutely.
Okay, we can take that down. So, it's the year 2006. September is during the football season.
Yes.
You coach out the year.
Yes.
Did y'all make it to the national championship game that year?
Yes.
This is the one,
It's 2000. Oh, no.
okay,
No, one game short.
one game short.
Yes.
So USC was 11-1?
That might have been our second loss to put us out. We lost to UCLA.
Oh, okay. All right, so, how'd that one make you? No, you don't have to. Okay. So, You didn't make it to the national championship game right at the beginning of 2007, correct?
Correct.
So you start to go through that next cycle again, and spring practice, spring game. Did USC take your job away from you at that point?
No.
So you coach the spring game, you do spring recruiting in May, you have the summer camps in 2007, and things are moving along. And you coached the next season, the 2007 regular season, correct?
Correct.
So we get into 2008, and in February, did they seek to interview you again?
I believe so.
So they wanted to interview you and Pete Carroll the second time, correct?
Correct.
Okay. The second time, did you go get a lawyer?
No.
Why not?
There's no need.
Why not?
I didn't know anything. And they didn't, they didn't tell me I was being investigated either. So I just wanted to answer questions.
So you did answer their questions.
Yes.
So you put up exhibit 37.36. So here's a point, 36 pages into the interview, where Mr. Johanningmeyer starts to ask you about the phone call at 1:30 in the morning, correct?
Yes.
So if we can enlarge this portion here. Okay, this is January 2005. That was the wrong year, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Now, just to put it in perspective, you're being asked these questions in February of 2008, correct?
Yes.
We can see without enlarging it, up at the top here, it has the date above the page number, and that date is February 15, 2008, correct?
Yes.
So he starts to ask you about a telephone call from 3 years earlier, right?
Yes.
And what he says is, because he had your phone records, you can see it right there in his question, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What he says is, according to your telephone records, on Saturday, January 8, 2005, you had a 2-minute and 32-second telephone conversation with that same number. That was Lloyd Lake's number, correct?
Yes.
And you remember this stuff from this hearing, right?
I remember.
And then you say, you're TM, and you say, I have no idea. I don't recognize that number. Did you recognize the number?
No, I did not.
By the way, in all of these phone records, did it turn out that the only phone calls involving your phone and Lake's phone were 3 calls in a 17-minute period on October 29, while Reggie Bush was supposed to be hosting Percy Harvin, the #1 running back recruit in the country. Was it running back, Percy?
Yeah, he ended up being a wide receiver slash running back. But yeah, same thing Reggie did.
So those 3 calls, and then the 1 call on January 8, 2006, right?
Correct.
Those were the only calls between your 2 numbers, correct?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to do October 29 in a little bit.
Okay.
But I'm coming back here. I have no idea, I don't recognize that number. And Johanningmeyer says, okay. And then subsequently, on January 8th, the same day at 2:50 in the afternoon, so this would be the same day of the call at 1:30 in the morning. So if we're looking at the clock, it's over 12 hours later, correct?
Correct.
You placed a 1-minute call to Bush, and at 3:26, Bush called you, and that call lasted for 13 minutes and 23 seconds. And he says, help us with that sequence. And he says, so again, I want to set the record here. There's the call to the San Diego number comes to you. There's a 1-minute and 34-second conversation. And you say, right. And if we can go to the next page and bring it up. And bring it up down to here, that's good. You place a call to Bush for 1 minute. Bush then returns that call, and there's a 13.5-minute conversation this occurs, and you go, and this is when? And he says, this is on January 8th, 2005. And then you say, January 8th. I mean, I have no idea. January 8th. Did you have any idea?
No.
Then he says, okay, you still don't know? And you say, that's two, and he asks, recognize this, and you said, that's 2005. So did you then try to figure out what this call might have been the best you could by trying to put it into a context?
Yes.
Now again, this is in February of 2008.
Yes.
That you're being asked about a call 3 years earlier, not a call 2 years earlier, correct?
Correct.
So then you say, 2005, that's 2005, that's after the Orange Bowl, that's a week after the Orange Bowl. I don't know, I mean, I could be on the road, I could be on the road recruiting, because the Orange Bowl was probably, that's the championship game, it's probably a week after the 1st, 7th, I'm probably on the road. I don't know. Did you answer them honestly about that?
Yes.
When did you first find out that the actual date of the phone call was January 2006, not January 2005?
I really don't recall. It was later, but I don't recall.
Was it just about with the notice of allegations?
Probably.
Okay, so that would be sometime later in 2009, right?
Correct.
So now when you read that, and you see that it's actually about a phone call that occurred on January 8, 2006, now you're in 2009 trying to remember a phone call for 2.5 minutes back in 2006, right?
Yes.
Were you able to remember what in the world that was about?
No.
Have you ever been able to remember what that call was about or what was said?
Absolutely not.
Do you have any idea whether Lloyd Lake was at 1:30 in the morning or in the middle of the night? Do you know whether he was intoxicated?
Objection. The witness has said he has no recollection of the call. He couldn't possibly answer follow-up questions about additional
Fair
circumstances.
enough, I'll withdraw. So then if we can go on. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Okay. A little bit further. We're now much deeper into the report. And is this the first time that enforcement staff tells you we're thinking about coming after you?
Yes.
Does it say here, Mr. Joe Hanningmeyer, so as you can see from our standpoint, we're having a lot of problems with your credibility. And I have to tell you that there's a good possibility that the NCAA could allege an ethical charge of providing false, misleading information in the fact that you denied that you know him. We have the telephone calls and we have a photograph with you with people that you say you do not know. And he responded, I don't know him and I did not call him. And then he started to talk about how they were thinking of making that charge. And the USC lawyer, or the USC representative, looks at Joe Hanningmeyer and says, are you kidding me?
Yes.
Right?
Objection deleted.
Sustained?
Well, it's all in the second interview, correct?
Yes.
And I'm going to use some florid language here, but when they said what Blake was saying about you in that, had you ever seen the Blake interview?
Yes.
Before, I mean,
Oh,
at the
before that time? No.
Yeah.
No.
When they told you what Blake was trying to say, not to use too florid language, but did you say, "Aw, that's a crock of S-H-I-T"?
Yes.
Now, in that interview, did they pull out the calls from October 29th?
I believe so.
And did Mr. Joe Hanningmeyer in that interview say to you that you did not, that they know that you did not have a recruit in town that night? Did he say that to you?
Yes, he did.
Was he wrong?
Yes, he was.
The reality is that when USC turned over the recruit official visit records that night, October 29th, which was in 2005, that night, Percy Harvin was your recruit. Right?
Your Honor, I would object to the leaving. The reality is that.
Well, you know what, I'll withdraw, I'm going to do it this way. I want to go. I want you to explain to the ladies and gentlemen, in your own words, the full picture of what happened that night, not just the 3 phone calls in 17 minutes, okay? And for that, I'm going to put up Exhibit 393. 393.11 first. So this is .11. Okay. Yeah. So what they've done here, as we said before, they took the records and they pulled out the Reggie Bush calls and Ornstein and Lake. We'll talk about Ornstein in a minute. With Lake, they show a call at 23 and 56 seconds. That's 11:56, thereabout. But in any rate, in any event, I'm not going to try to figure that out right now. But there's a call from Lloyd Lake. I'm sorry, I missed these two. So if you can just enlarge this part right here. Yeah, I apologize. So there's a call, October 29, 2005, at 11:39 p.m. to Lloyd Lake. Then one, October 29, at 11:52 to Lloyd Lake. And then one at 23:56 and another one at 2356, one to Reggie and one to Lloyd.
Yep.
Got that?
Yes.
Okay. So those are those 3 calls. And all of those along the right-hand side say 1, correct?
Yes.
All right. So now what I'd like to do is I'd like to take the source document for this to see just what was going on all day that day. And so now we're going to put up exhibit 902.7. And the NCAA had these source records, correct?
Yes, they did.
Okay, will you show it to him first? All right, you put it up. All right, so now we're looking at all the phone calls for a period of time on 10/29 at 6 p.m. to 10/31 at 5:44 p.m. You see that?
Yes.
Okay. And if we look for the 3 calls to late, they are down here at the bottom of the first page of this, and then up at the top of the second page. Do you see that?
Yes.
1, 2, and 3. You see them?
Yes.
Okay. And now you see where they got the 1 minute from, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, you can take those down, and I want you to generally use the phone records to teach the ladies and gentlemen of the jury about what happened that day.
Okay.
October 29, let me first ask you, that's the Washington State game?
Washington State, at home.
Here in LA,
Yes.
and you're trying to drive for a national championship game,
Yes.
right? Tell them what really happened that night.
All right. So, I got Percy Harvin is in recruitment. He's coming as his official visit. This is the one guy that can replace Reggie Bush. He's the #1 player in the country. He does all the stuff that Reggie does. We need him there. So, so Percy's in, and all right, I explained the game to you. We're at the game. Everybody leaves the game. I go back down to the hotel to get my car. Percy's here. It was Percy, his mother, and his sister are here. So I go down. I might have had, I think, Shady McCoy. If anybody knows Shady, a couple recruits. But Percy's down there. I go back down to the hotel for a while. I'm kicking it with the parents. I'm, after post-game stuff and everything. So I leave. I don't know if I go home. I usually, because the family comes, they either drop me off at the hotel and they go home, or I'll go home with them and come back. But anyway, so I leave. All right. So remember, I told you we have somebody that's a point man, Jared Blank at the time. The people that ferry to go to the airport and pick up our recruits. We're in meetings. They're getting the recruits squared away. The recruits want to go eat. They have them. We can't do it as coaches. So it's him and his team of student workers that handle the recruits and everything. So, hold on. So at about 8:42 or so. See this 9275833. That's pretty much Jared Blank. Hold on, yeah. Let's go from 8:42. Let's go from about. Here's an incoming from Reggie. Go from about right here, 8:42, down there is fine. Down there is fine. All right, so that's an incoming from Reggie. Reggie's 3145. All right, now 5833 is Jared Blank. He's the on the ground coordinator of the recruits. All right, he's got everybody squared away. I get an incoming from him. I don't know what that is. So I call Reggie. That's probably Jared, because at some point in time, let me tell you what happened first. Some point in time, I find out that Percy's left in the hotel by himself. There's no more player in the country. He's remember, when a kid comes, you gotta lay the red carpet out for him. He's in the hotel. He's not with Reggie. Somewhere around here, Jared calls me. I find out somewhere in there. I find out that Percy's in the hotel by himself. All right. So, where are we? All right, now Percy Harvin is from Norfolk, Virginia. So I find out that Percy's left in the hotel. I call Norfolk, Virginia. That's Percy. Percy calls me back. All right, Norfolk, Virginia. These two right there are Percy Harvin. All right, I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. So now you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 calls between me and Jared. I'm calling Jared. He finally called. You know, I'm trying to find out where Reggie is. I'm calling Jared. Did he pick him up yet? Is he still there? What's his mom doing? What's his sister doing? All of that. All right. Now Jared, Percy's my recruit. All right. The recruiting coordinator is Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin is the boss. We all have our recruits, and we deal with our kids, but Lane coordinates us. All right. So Jared reports to me because they're my recruits, and Jared reports to Lane Kiffin. All right. Once we get right here, I get an incoming call from Lane Kiffin because Jared has told Lane that Percy's still in the hotel. Reggie hasn't come to get him. T-Mac is trying to find him. All right. So that's same 213-725-3. My phone number is 213-725-30. I'm sorry. That's a USC phone, you know, because it's 213-725-3544. My phone number is 213-725-3072. So in this flurry of calls, I'm alerted now that Percy Harvin is by himself. And we're already salted, he's left. Kiff calls me to find out what's going on, I'm sure. All right, we talked for 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 calls between me and Jared. Then I call Reggie twice. 3, 1, 4, 5. I call Reggie 3 times, and I don't get him. I call him 3 times in a short span. As 1 minute calls, I probably don't get him. All right, that's Jared again. That's Jared again. Okay, we can get it.
Wait. You see at 11:07.
All right, yeah, 11. Where are we? 11:07.
You do reach Reggie.
Oh, I do. Yeah. I'm sorry. All right, now before I can get in the phone call. Now, I remembered when I was being interviewed. I always start the frame to get an understanding, at least some kind of understanding of what's happening. When was it? What month is it? October. That's football season. What day was it? Saturday. That's after a game. All right, so if I'm talking to Reggie on a Saturday, a flurry of calls to Reggie on a Saturday after a game, it must involve a recruit. Has to. Because I'm home with, otherwise, I'm either out or I'm home with the family. So I'm calling Reggie, and I'm looking at they're interviewing me, so I'm saying the situation has to be a recruit. But I didn't know what game it was. I just knew it was a Saturday. All right. We send a USC person. Before that, Johannemeyer tells me, well, we're really confident you don't have a player there. You don't have a recruit that night. He didn't have a recruit that night. I'm like, whatever. So we send a USC person out to go get the schedule. You know what I mean? So they come back, Coach, Washington State game. I know the game. Dwayne Jarrett's still here, standing here today. Dwayne Jarrett had 205 yards, who's a receiver, same position as Percy. Percy's there, and I remember we didn't sign Percy Harvin because of this. All right, because he got left in the hotel the whole time. Percy's a diva, and I get it. And I know we didn't sign him because of that. So I tell them, yeah, that's Percy Harvin. And I'm telling the story that I'm telling you. They had all this. So anyway, so now, I'm trying to find, so finally, before I go back there, now I remember calling Reggie, right? And the only reason I could think of at the time was he's blowing me off. He's with some model or something. He's with a girl, and I remember him saying, "My phone is dying. My phone is dying," and I thought he was trying to pull fast on him. You know, excuse me, I can't hear you. I can't, and then click, and it's off. So I told him I said, well, give me another number to reach you then, or whatever. Or maybe he said, I'll give you this number, whatever. But I know he said his phone was dying. At the time, I thought he was bull crapping me, whatever. So I talked to him right there for 1:41 seconds. That's when he tells me his phone is dying. All right. So then go make that small. Are these all the calls? Does the end of them?
Then you go to the next page.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So anyway, there we go. So I called the number he gave me. I didn't get anybody. I called him right back. I didn't get anybody. I called the number he gave me, and right there, I must have got him or something. I don't know. But anyway, that's the scenario. I knew that it was Percy Harvin was in town. Once they gave me another thing, Percy Harvin told me. Percy Harvin in his testimony stated that they picked me up. He said they picked me up right before.
Your Honor, I don't know why this witness is talking about another witness's testimony.
Well,
I think we can present that.
Okay, fine.
It's actually the interview. It's not.
But I think he can't repeat that, so let's just,
But yes.
we can move on with that,
Yeah, go on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. So the phone call stopped at 11:56, and I'll leave that. Maybe that'll come up later. 11:56 phone call stop. That's what happened. That's what I told them happened. They didn't believe me.
Now, at the interview that you gave, did you even know that they were going to get into your phone records? The February 2018, the second interview, did you know ahead of time that they were going to get into your phone records?
No, no, at the time, no.
All right. Had you studied your phone records the way you have since they brought up these 3 phone calls?
No, I hadn't.
Did you even know at that interview in February 2018 that the recruit you had was Percy Harvin?
Repeat that, please.
At the interview,
Right.
February 15, 2008, that's interview number 2.
Yes.
Did you even know that the recruit you had in town that night was Percy Harvin?
Not before they went and got the schedule. Because I had no way of knowing.
So did they go and get the schedule during the interview?
Yes, they did.
This interview was at USC.
Yes, it was.
And were you then able to start remembering in context what had happened that night?
When they gave me the schedule?
When they told you it was Percy Harvin?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's a major deal. I mean, that's a profound event. Like, we got the #1 player in the country. He went on to go to Florida, and Florida won 2 national championships with Percy Harvin. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's another 2 natties for us. You know what I mean? So I remember Percy Harvin. National championship is natty, I'm sorry. Yeah, so it was, yeah. So I remembered it.
All right. Now, going back to this photograph, I know you don't remember the photograph, but there's been other indications that it was taken that night, the night of October 29th.
Yeah.
Describe for the ladies and gentlemen the scene at the hotel.
It's a lot like I told you guys earlier. Post game now, we go back to the hotel. We won the game. Everybody's excited. The alumni, they're in suit. The parents are fired up. Now, you got parents. Parents are a little. Sometimes you get young enough parents. They want to see Hollywood. They want to go out, and so we'll set them up to. They go out and whatnot, but pretty much they just hang around the hotel. They've come on official visits with 2, 3, 4 sets of parents have come on official visits. They're friends. They know each other. They sit together at the games. After the game, they're down at the hotel. They're all together. The alumni is back smacking and high-fiving, and everybody's in there. if they got people from out of town. That's another thing. When the Cushings come out, they got Mike, which is Brian Cushing's brother, and Mike's got his best buddy, you know, whatever, and they're there. They're at the hotel. Or Kyle Moore's younger brother, he's 20, and he's got 2 of his friends with him. So the young guys want to go out. They're not coming all the way to LA, and they don't get to see Hollywood. They're out of there. So the kids are the younger, you know, they're getting dressed, they're coming, they're going, they're waiting for the cab, they're down there waiting for the other guy. I'm talking to Mr. Bryce Butler's dad, Bobby Butler, and here comes Bryce, who already goes to school there, but he's got his 2 buddies with his dad, and Bryce pulls up to the hotel, he gets his boys, they stay in the lobby for a minute talking to their dad. I mean, Bryce is talking to his dad with his 2 homies, they're dressed, they smell good, and they're all, you know, it's a lot of action going on. People are coming, people are going, especially it's Saturday night in LA. They're moving, they're coming and going. The parents, you know, they're a little more stationary. Did
you say homies?
They're friends.
Okay.
Sorry. The hotel sets up games, like especially.
Well, here, let me just stop you.
We got about a 2-minute warning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 2-minute warning. Until halftime. Hundreds of people.
Yes, easily.
Coming and going.
Yes.
You're being introduced to tons of people.
Yes.
Even that night, you remember everybody you would have been introduced to.
It's impossible.
Pictures being taken.
All night.
And you're in the picture with your friend Faison Love, right?
Yes.
People wanted to get pictures taken with him too, right?
They came to LA. They want to see celebrities. I brought them one, of course.
You just can't remember that far.
It's impossible.
Okay, it's a good breaking.
Okay, great. All right.